The year was 740 BC. King Uzziah of Judah, a powerful and influential monarch, had just passed away. His reign, spanning over 5 decades, had been a period of both prosperity and spiritual decline. Uzziah's death marked a significant turning point in Judah's history, creating a void in leadership and a sense of uncertainty about the future. It was during this time of transition and apprehension that a young prophet named Isaiah received a vision that would forever alter the course of his life. Uzziah's death was more than just the passing of a king, it symbolized the end of an era. The people of Judah were grieving the loss of their leader, and the nation was teetering on the brink of instability. The political landscape was shifting, and the spiritual climate was growing increasingly dim. In this atmosphere of fear and uncertainty, God chose to reveal himself in a powerful way to a man named Isaiah. Isaiah, a devout and sensitive individual, was deeply affected by the events unfolding around him. He recognized the spiritual decay that had crept into the kingdom during Uzziah's later years, and he longed for a restoration of God's righteousness. Little did he know that he was about to be thrust into a divine encounter that would transform him into a powerful voice for God's truth. The stage was set for a dramatic revelation, a divine intervention that would offer hope and direction to a nation in need. The timing of Isaiah's vision was no coincidence. God often chooses to reveal himself in moments of crisis, offering comfort, guidance, and a renewed sense of purpose. In the midst of the turmoil surrounding Uzziah's death, God was preparing to unveil his glory and power to Isaiah, setting the stage for a prophetic ministry that would resonate through the ages. The passing of a king provided the backdrop for the rising of a prophet, a divine messenger who would speak truth to power and call the nation back to God. Isaiah found himself transported to the very throne room of God. The scene was awe-inspiring, filled with a majesty and splendor beyond human comprehension. He saw the Lord, high and exalted, seated on a throne that reached to the heavens. The sheer magnitude of the vision was overwhelming, a testament to God's infinite power and glory. The temple was filled with smoke, a visual representation of the divine presence that permeated every corner of the sacred space. Surrounding the throne were angelic beings called seraphim, each with 6 wings. 2 wings covered their faces in reverence, 2 covered their feet in humility, and 2 they used to fly. Their voices echoed throughout the temple as they sang a powerful hymn of praise. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. The repetition of holy emphasized God's absolute purity and transcendence, a quality that set him apart from all creation. The seraphim's chant was not merely a song of adoration, it was a declaration of God's holiness, a profound truth that resonated throughout the temple and beyond. The sound of their voices filled Isaiah with a sense of awe and wonder, a realization of the immeasurable gap between his own finite existence and the infinite majesty of God. The vision was a sensory overload, a symphony of sights and sounds that etched themselves into Isaiah's very being. The experience was more than just a visual spectacle. It was a spiritual encounter that pierced Isaiah's soul. The vision of God's throne room was a glimpse into the very heart of the divine, a revelation of God's power, holiness, and glory. It was a moment of profound transformation, a turning point that would forever shape Isaiah's understanding of God and his own place in the divine plan. In the presence of such overwhelming holiness, Isaiah's initial reaction was one of fear and trembling. He was acutely aware of his own unworthiness, his human frailty in the face of divine perfection. The contrast between his own sinful nature and God's absolute purity was stark and undeniable. He cried out, "Woe to me," recognizing his own inadequacy in the presence of the Almighty. He felt like a man standing on the edge of a precipice, gazing into an abyss of holiness. Isaiah's words, "I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty," revealed his deep sense of unworthiness. He recognized that his own sinfulness and the sinfulness of his people separated him from the holy God. The encounter with the divine had exposed his own imperfections, leaving him feeling exposed and vulnerable. He was acutely aware of the vast gulf that separated him from the divine. The experience was both terrifying and humbling. Isaiah's encounter with God was not a casual meeting. It was a confrontation with the very essence of holiness. It was a moment of self-discovery, a realization of his own brokenness in the presence of the divine. The vision shattered his preconceived notions of God and forced him to confront his own spiritual shortcomings. He was stripped bare before the Almighty, his imperfections laid bare for all to see. The weight of God's holiness pressed down upon Isaiah, revealing the depth of his own sinfulness. He felt like a small boat caught in a violent storm, tossed about by the waves of divine power. The experience was both terrifying and transformative, shaking him to his very core. He was a man undone, humbled by the sheer magnitude of the divine presence.